You are listening to the We Hired a Sitter for This podcast.
We hired a sitter for this.
We have a roster of like 7 sitters.
I'm spending $3,000 on paints.
Do you go to therapy?
Never have, nah.
There was a small fire. I put it out.
Real talk, the stakes are too high with my baby.
Comedy, parenting, marriage, life.
We do it all.
I'm a dad and I'm busy.
I have an opinion. I don't know if it'll be right, but
I'm Patrick.
my name is Gastor.
And we hired a sitter.
Rolling all around. There's a little bit of a lag on that camera, which is
Yeah.
distracting.
It's the first one. They got like 3 editions since, so I'm sure the lag has been settled, but that is not enough of a feature for me to pay another $300.
Oh, yeah.
So I bought all of my stuff used, and I always wait till the new thing comes out.
I like your style to buy used.
Man.
I'm a huge fan of buying stuff on Craigslist, and I think it would be a fun show to like give people a tour of your home and just point out everything you got off of Craigslist. Because there was a time where there was like multiple pieces of furniture, different like stereo equipment or camera equipment. You could say I almost died in this part of New York City because the person I bought this thing from was a real creep.
Mm-hmm. I had to go with my kid brother to several like sneaker meets because he like one weekend he like discovered Craigslist. And he was like 12.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, like I'll meet this guy to buy sneakers. I was like, you are going with cash to a random part of New York?
Yeah.
You out of your mind, bro.
Yeah.
And like, you know, he was young, so he was young enough to make the mistake. I get it. But on top of that, like, he's been 6'2" since like age 12.
Yeah.
So like that's the kind of height that gets you in trouble.
Yeah.
Because like people will see you and like from a distance see man.
Mm-hmm.
So they come with man energy. And then they see boy, and they like, oh, we could get this kid.
Yeah, you get up close, he's got like that like faded mustache that hasn't quite grown in yet. How old is he now?
What is it, 23?
So he's still on the cusp. Of
Nah,
boyhood.
his beard game's crazy though.
Yeah.
But he's still a youngin'. Like right now, he'll fall for like Ponzi schemes.
Right.
But like, you know, he's gotten past the whole like Craigslist thing. But like, whatever the modern day version of like Primerica is, I'm sure they'll get them. They get all of us once.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten a couple emails recently where it's like, click here to see your invoice, and you know, there's people that owe me money, so it's like anything that sounds like, oh, if I click this, I'm gonna get money.
You know,
I almost want to click on it, but that's how they get you.
Real talk. And like, I know my stuff is on the web. I know my info's been stolen, but also, what is there to take? You know, like you traded my information. Gotcha. You know, like I feel like now we're in this together.
Yeah.
Let's build up my credit as a unit. You in the black market and me for real. I don't know if we'll get it there, but you know, now I'm glad that more of us are trying.
I once purchased a bag of cameras, like low-end consumer level cameras.
Okay.
In the lobby of a Best Buy, you know, on the Upper East Side.
Okay.
The person said, yeah, it's $200. You'll get these, I think it was 3 cameras and a pair of headphones and a little Zoom recorder. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Let's meet at the Best Buy. Meet this person. He seems like a normal, grown-up, adult person just offloading stuff they don't use.
Yeah.
But ever since then, I'm like, that was a really good price, because the Zoom recorder especially, I use that to record shows all the time, and I'm like, is this just stuff this guy like stole from people on the train or something? Like, am I buying stolen goods? And then also like, did he just like lift these from inside the Best Buy, and am I now buying like stolen goods that's hot off the stove?
I'm impressed with both, but I support the second.
Yeah.
I mean, you steal from the man, I think that's cool.
Yeah, Best Buy, they're doing fine.
Yeah.
They could deal with the shrinkage. I also bought a motorcycle off Craigslist.
Whoa!
Way down in, like, toward Coney Island, like where the avenues have letters.
Okay.
It was Avenue Q. And that, I might have gotten screwed on that deal. I paid $3,500, and the week after I got the bike, I had to get it inspected by this motorcycle guy in Greenpoint, and he looked at it and he was like, there's a lot of evidence on this bike that makes me think it was submerged during Hurricane Sandy.
Whoa.
And it worked, like I test drove it and everything, but he's like, yeah, this might have been underwater for a period of time. So
whoa.
That's, you never know what you're going to get when you buy stuff on the internet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I had a wardrobe, like a closet, because I had this one apartment. It was just an open loft, so I had to buy furniture to like put my clothes in, you know. And I got this teak wood wardrobe from this couple in the East Village that were definitely like divorcing. Like the energy was bad when I got there to get this piece of furniture. But like I think I was the one bright spot in their day because I was like buying something that they couldn't decide who was gonna get.
Okay.
That's the story I created. Another time I bought a coffee table from all these women that were moving out of an apartment in Gramercy. Whoa.
Yo.
That was
wild.
I felt like I was just in a Tom Cruise movie.
My goodness.
For the viewers at home, you couldn't see it because maybe I should get a dash cam.
You should. That was a moment.
We just got cut off pretty violently on Route 87 because we're headed up to Hurleyville, New York for this gig tonight that's sold out. Our second sold out co-headlining show. We're just saying that the Rotary Club was sold out because there's no rules. That was a private event. They sold what they could. So they sold out.
They sold out. But this is an actual sellout.
But this is a sellout because they downgraded us to the cafe restaurant event space.
Downgrade to upgrade, baby.
But the downgrade led to an upgrade because we're sold out tonight. 60 tickets sold. Who knows who's going to be there.
One step back, two steps forward, baby.
Yeah. Anyway, before that person so rudely almost killed us, I was going to tell you about the time I went to buy this coffee table with my old roommate, Alan, and we show up there, and these girls are like, oh, we're also selling all these pots and pans, because it was like, you know, when I guess you've been on your block for so long, I don't know how many different apartments you've lived in, but it's very common for people in their 20s in New York City. I see it every day, every month on the 1st.
Okay.
You see a sidewalk pile of junk, because like 20-somethings are like, oh, I gotta move out, but I don't feel like moving all my stuff, so I'll just throw most of it away. So anyway, these girls were like, we're selling all this other stuff, so we got all these pots and pans for cheap.
Yeah.
And it's the pots and pans I use to this day. The pots and pans I feed my child with came from these like slacker 20-something, very beautiful women in Gramercy who just didn't want to like move all their stuff, so they were selling it for super cheap.
Yo, like their dreams died.
Yeah,
you took that to feed your family, bro.
Yeah, and I have all these stainless steel pots and pans.
They moved here to like become dancers.
Yeah.
And their dad was like, yo, I'll pay for 1 year's rent.
Yes.
And they abused that, took Gramercy, instead of stretching it out, moving to like, you know, Bushwick and making it 3 years.
Yeah.
And that benefited you.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
And you know, you can do that. You can go into Manhattan on trash day in different neighborhoods. You can figure out which day is trash day and kind of look around, like Upper East, Upper West Side. You can find a nice lamp or an end table if you feel like looking through the trash. I did that in my early 20s too.
Oh.
Time Out magazine used to tell you what neighborhoods were good for going through people's trash.
Oh man, we've lived different lives. Yo.
Yeah. I'm a resourceful person. I knew how to feel like I had money when I didn't have money.
Amen.
And then when I did have money, I knew how to buy cheap electronics on Craigslist.
I dig it. I know I've seen a friend get hustled pretty heavy for that. Like I had a coworker, we used to call him Chicken Little. He was like he was the best sales rep at Frito. I was usually top 5, but like I just was not on the par with this guy.
Yeah.
He was different. And he was a short little dude running around, super high energy. When we both became managers at about the same time, he's a peppy guy, always high spirits. He comes into the office one evening really dejected from being out in the field.
Yeah.
And we're like, what's wrong? And he's like, man, he didn't want to talk about it, but like we kind of get him to admit to us that like he got robbed.
Yeah.
And we're like, what happened? And he's like, kind of similar to your story. He got told that there was a guy selling Apple equipment
at a discount. Like fell off the back of a truck.
Yeah.
Right.
So he like goes to the Best Buy. The guy's like selling it in like the like parking lot area on the side of the Best Buy.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got a guy inside. I'm getting it from there. So the guy has like, let's say like an iPad, a laptop, 2 iPhones, and they agree to pay like $1,500.
Yeah.
So my boy shows up, $1,500 cash.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And he has the boxes for it. Like like everything's in a box, and he's like a salesman. So he's thinking like he's a salesman from the Bronx. He's like, let me out hustle this guy.
Yeah.
So he's like, I kept $300 on the side, and I put $1,200, and I was like, yo, listen, I only got 12.
Yeah.
Thinking I could like haggle with this dude for the cash, and he's like, I can't do 12.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, I got 12 on me. I'll give you the 12. Let me leave happy.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, I can't do 12. I could give you these 3, but I got to take one of the phones back. And he thinks about it, and he's like, yeah, all right, cool. And he gives him $1,200. He takes the iPhone, the iPad, and the MacBook. And he bounced. The guy disappears. Literally goes back into the store, and he stays in the parking lot with the product.
Yeah.
So he goes to his car. He starts going through the stuff. He opens up the boxes. Every box is just a brick wrapped in newspaper.
Yes, classic.
You know what I mean? And he goes back into the Apple store, and he's like, what do I say? He's like, I'm looking for this dude that stole your product.
Yeah.
You know? And then on top of that, he's like, that doesn't even work because he didn't steal anything from them. He's like, I just got empty boxes technically.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm out $1,200. He's like, I'm happy I'm not out $1,500. But he's like, what got him was that the guy was so adamant about negotiating. He was like, when I told him 12, he wouldn't give me the 4th extra box.
That guy knew how to create a real experience.
Yeah, he was like that built the story of like, oh, this is real product.
Yeah.
And my man came home. He's like, out a week's worth of money. Straight up. $1,200 gone.
That's why I also wouldn't mess with anything phone related because it's got to be like registered and like connected to the dial-up or the satellites or whatever, right?
Yeah, I assume. I don't know.
Yeah, you got to be careful on the internet. I bought a projector and a screen for that same loft. I was like, I got to be a cliche Bushwick loft resident. I got to put up a projector. And it was the same thing. It was like, all right, I'll bring $500 cash. We'll meet on this street corner at this time. And I had a buddy come with me for that one. I was like, this is the most cash somebody's requested to do in person. One of my cameras I got recently, I met a guy in a Chase bank, and we tested the camera and everything right there in the lobby of the bank.
Hell yeah.
And then got cash. And that worked out well. Because you need to be in public. You can't be meeting people in the dark.
Yeah.
My best sale ever on Craigslist, I had an electronic drum set. You know, like you can play into headphones, and it's all the cymbals and drums are like rubber pads.
Okay, I remember those.
And I had that for like 10 years or something. I learned to play drums on it. I love that thing, but you move in with your girlfriend in a 1-bedroom, like that, she wins. Eventually she's gonna win. You can't have the drum set in the house anymore. And we got invited to go to a wedding upstate. I think it was this, maybe I'm mashing up memories, but either way, I had somewhere to go upstate, so I put the listing like wide out on Craigslist. Like I made it like it was available in Westchester and whatever. And some guy said, hey, my kid is learning to play. Can we do this? And I met him at a ShopRite parking lot upstate. I didn't get what I paid for it, but I got much more than I expected.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it felt great to be a part of something wholesome. Because think of all the things that get sold on Craigslist that are not wholesome.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I've always enjoyed this kind of like interaction. Like, I used to always buy my North Face jackets in like Chinatown.
Oh yeah.
And they were always like, I know there was always like a shady thing.
Yeah.
I would just walk to I would take the train to Chinatown. I would just walk around.
Yeah.
And like, they would approach me. Like, I didn't even need to like talk.
Yeah.
They just, me being in Chinatown, people knew, oh, he's here for a North Face.
This man's chilly.
Yeah,
he needs a coat.
He needs a coat. And they would come up to me. I remember the first time after the interaction was done, I was like, yo, like, if I want another one, what do I do? He's like, just be around here.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll find you.
They have a homing sensor in there. Like, they are the Canal Street ultimate sales force.
Yo, real gift of gab out there, yo. Real talk.
What about so it didn't bother you if they were knockoffs or not? Like, it wasn't about that for you?
No, I definitely like did it. That was what caused the most of the tension, because like, I only bought the real ones.
Yeah.
But like, checking for a North Face to be real while on Canal is a process that they're not about.
Yeah, do you have your little magnifying glass?
Yo,
you're checking seams?
I'm out there looking at seams. I'm looking at labels and tags.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wearing it, touching the insulation.
Yeah. And
like, you know, that's Macy's shit. That's not Canal Street shit.
Yeah.
So the dude's getting uncomfortable. Like, yo, my man, like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, I was like, I gotta know this is real. At the very least, I gotta know I'm gonna be warm. I don't want to just be stylish and cold.
Right.
So yeah, like, they don't like me much, but we always bought, we always copped. I would say fake things I didn't care about were jeans.
Yeah.
Jeans I'm okay buying fake, because nobody ever saw the label. Right? Like, this was during the baggy clothes era. Like, anything indicative of them being a certain brand was invisible. Yeah. So I wore fake jeans, but I wore real hats, jackets, and boots. Also just wore plain white tees. So like, that didn't have a brand thing. Yeah.
Yeah, what were like the brands that were big amongst your friends? Like when you went to, like, in early high school, whenever it felt like you had the most pressure to measure up, like what was...
There was two eras. Junior high was the first time I definitely remember wanting to be stylish. And I was really, really heavy into Tommy Hilfiger back then.
Oh, yeah.
Like, crazy heavy into that. Tommy and Polo, but Tommy was my shit in particular. I wore that crazy. There's a green Tommy Hilfiger jacket that I still wish I had now.
Yeah.
That, like, and not only do I wish I had it, I saw a rap video recently where like a young kid was wearing it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. He went thrifting hard.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably could find it, right?
I'm sure I can. But yeah, like, I was big on Tommy. Polo, Guess was crazy back then. Yeah. And then I would say from high school on, I pivoted to Tim's mostly. Nikes I didn't get into until like as an adult. Yeah. Outside of the pennies. But yeah, high school I was really big into Tim's and pennies.
Penny Hardaways, right?
Yeah, penny Hardaways.
Not penny loafers.
Yeah, not at all.
Do you know what a penny loafer is?
I did not rock them. It's not me. I went to a Catholic high school. We had to wear shoes. So for school shoes, I used to wear Wallabies.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? I was big on Wu-Tang, so I started rocking those. And then my pants, I would get either knockoff pants or like really like whack brands from VIM, like Brooklyn Express.
I'll go to a VIM now occasionally just for like some boxers or socks, like just cheapo undergarments like that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I got, there's a gray knitted hat that says Brooklyn in blue that I owned from age 12 to like 37. Yeah. That I bought from VIM for like $10. Yeah. That like, I still miss to this day. I know I lost it at some point, but it meant a lot to me. It was dope. It was a cool little hat. Got it cheap right at the counter. Yeah. You know what I mean? I like that stuff. I think they did a good job of blending affordable cheap brands with the real stuff. Like, I always bought real Timbs from VIM.
Yeah.
And then a $10 pair of boots. Jeans.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why that was the market, but they figured it out. They're like, yeah, like some stuff needs to be real, some stuff needs to be just affordable.
Yeah, because, well, maybe it's you get them in the store with the $10 pack of 3 white T-shirts, but you get them to also buy the pair of Timbs.
And you got the whole outfit, $100.
So I was like sort of skater adjacent.
Ooh, okay.
So we got big into Jinko jeans, the ultra baggy ones.
Yeah, I remember those. Were weird.
I think that hit around 10th grade for me. I have some very regrettable pictures of myself in some of those clothes. But I remember being obsessed with like getting the right ones and wearing them the right way. And my poor mother, she like school shopping, there was one pair I really wanted. They didn't have my size. And I remember convincing her to go get them when they were available as soon as possible, because they had this racing stripe down this back pocket. I was so obsessed with this like specific design, and I remember convincing her to go alone to the mall one night to go get them for me so that I had them. And just like thinking back now, I'm just like, it's so crazy what parents do to like satisfy whatever we think we really have to have in our lives when all of it is nonsense.
Yeah.
You know?
That's love.
Yeah, no, she really went the extra mile in a lot of different ways.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, but yeah, those jeans, now they're coming back. I've seen them occasionally recently. Like young kids are wearing them in an ironic way. I think ironic. I don't know.
I know, like, the mom jean has been like a thing now.
Yeah.
Like that's a baggy look.
Yeah, which I think I'm wearing the wrong jeans. I have 2 pairs of jeans. They're the exact same brand and size, and they're like skinny-ish jeans. I have skinny legs. I just wear clothes that fit me.
Right.
But now I'm like, oh, I think I look like a nerd. Like I definitely look like I don't care about fashion.
Right.
Which I should probably start taking a closer look at if I want to make it as an entertainer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look like I'm on top of fashion, but I look like I am wearing what I intend to wear.
Yes.
You know, like this is definitely the era I last loved.
Yeah.
And I will dress like this forever. And everyone knows, oh, he's about this age.
Yeah.
You know,
it's you've got a brand. It's part of your personal brand.
For sure.
Which nobody really wants to talk about, but you know, it's good to be aware of what works for you and what's a part of your signature.
I'm with it. I don't know. I think people should find the stuff that makes them happy.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I enjoy clothes from this era. I enjoy fitted hats with flat brims, and that are slightly oversized. And I'm in a place where I can afford to buy them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that.
Well, here we are. It's our second car episode. If you haven't watched any of our car episodes, we go on YouTube. There's one from I don't even know how many episodes I think episode 116 was our first episode together.
Okay.
And now we're on, this might be like 134.
We building, baby.
So that's like we're churning them out.
We out here, baby.
And if you're enjoying this car episode, there is another one from, I don't know, a month or 2 ago. But yeah, we're going upstate again. We're on Route 87 right now. It's going to be me, you, Rob Christensen. We'll all do some comedy. I think a handful of my family members will be there.
None of my family will be there.
So I got to think about what to censor. Do you censor your act based on who's in the room?
Yes, but not because of family.
Yeah.
Like, I'm aware of like different demographics that might not connect with this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't even say censor, more tailor.
Tailoring.
Yeah. Censor, yeah. I won't do. Like, I won't. If this joke deserves a curse, I curse. But like, I'll tailor, like,
or omit entirely.
Yeah, like this joke, I don't think is gonna connect with this room, and that's okay. I don't think that's. I feel like there's comics that'll say that like you're not being fully you, and I disagree. I just think you, like, just like in real life, there's parts of you that you know are gonna connect with your parents, differently than your best friend, differently than your wife, differently than your kid.
Yeah.
You're not being less you. You're just using the part of you that needs to communicate your message to this person.
Yeah.
So I feel fine doing it. And also I wrote the other jokes too.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, like, if I was doing an hour tonight, then I would just do all my favorite stuff because you got to fill an hour.
Yeah.
But doing probably 25 or 30 minutes, so I can omit certain. There's plenty of things I can omit.
Yo.
But yeah, I think it's just my mom and sister. But it's like, how much do you want to put your mom through hearing about? I mean, you don't talk about sex that much, but there's some sex stuff. There's some, there's some stuff I gotta be considerate with for her.
Hey, man.
Some stuff about childhood that I don't want to make her question what I also might be thinking I have more power than I do. She might just think, oh, well, he's full of shit, so who cares? Or that's not how I remember it. Or
I think family,
whatever.
Yeah, family's really good at like everyone's really good at having like the different perspective when needed to survive.
Yeah.
So like I've told jokes that like I felt were 100% truthful that I've heard family be like, well, that's not how it happened.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're saying it because they genuinely don't believe it happened or is because they felt like growing up, that's how they needed to remember it to not be hurt by it.
Yeah.
And either way, I think it's fine. If that's what you need to do as a person, cool.
Yeah.
My favorite moment of doing comedy about someone like that I know, I told on This Is Not Happening, I told the Brooklyn Batman story where like my cousins were dealing.
Yeah.
One of them passed away, but the other one moved to North Carolina for like avoiding cops and other people reasons.
Yeah.
And eventually he got like everything regular and moved to like traditional life. But for a while, he was just like hiding.
Yeah.
And I told a story on TV that I thought was funny. A, B, he's a cousin of mine that I hadn't seen in over a decade. In any planned scenario. Like I bumped into him like once or twice, but I had no idea he was gonna be there. Like his day-to-day life wasn't involved with mine anymore.
Right.
So this clip comes out, I don't talk to this guy no more. Like he's a memory to me.
Yeah. And
it starts doing well. And this is how my family discovered that I do stand-up for the most part, outside of like my wife and my parents.
Yeah.
So this clip is on TV. It's doing well. My family shares it. They're telling me they're proud, blah, blah, blah. And like a month or two after it comes out, I get a text from a blocked number saying, yo, I can't tell you where I'm at, but I fuck with what you did. Like...
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, he's like, I rock with what you did. Dope work. I share it with all my homies. And he signed it his name, and I was like, "Oh,
that's
is dope."
Nice.
Yeah, so it was just ill to get like the cosign. And then every now and then, like once a year, he'll like text me from a new block number saying, "Hey, just want to say I saw you on this clip. Anyway, see you one day."
Yeah.
And he's just on the run.
Yeah, I might have a family member that every time we text, it's from a new number for similar reasons, and that's hilarious to me.
Yo, I love it.
Yeah, that's great. I just recently, my brother, he was like, I like how you added that one thing, something about our dad. I can't remember the exact details. And I just wanted to be like, well, no, what was it? Anyway, he basically said, I like that you exaggerated that thing that Dad did in that way.
Right.
And I guess it is, I guess it is an exaggeration, but in my mind, I'm just like, yeah, well, a joke has to be bigger than the thing, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta, like, paint the picture. So, yeah, there's embellishments, or there's things that get combined sometimes, or connections that you make between a couple different events that if you connect it in the right way, you're not changing the veracity
story, right.
of it, but you're making the story tighter or whatever.
Word up.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You know, unrelated to this, but like, I'm starting to associate you with nature just because, like, I never see this many trees anywhere else in my life.
Yeah, this is
beautiful.
Beautiful right here. This is like lower Hudson Valley. We're kind of coming up to Harriman area.
Okay.
Maybe Gabby, have you ever taken her to the outlets up here? There's the, oh my God, Monroe Woodbury Commons it's called.
Oh, yeah, I think we did that once.
If you ever came up here, there's like shopping.
I think we did we did shopping and then we did like barbecuing or something after.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
this is
grill area.
This is beautiful up here, and yeah, I would take a nature association. I'm going 80. Do you think this cop's gonna follow us?
Let's find out, baby.
And do we keep the cameras rolling? We do.
Yes,
have
we
to
do.
keep it
Hell
rolling.
yeah, we do.
Because the viewers are already thinking, yes, something's got to happen on this podcast episode.
Did we good?
I don't see any lights yet, but
Yeah. His headlights turned on, but he ain't moved.
oh, you saw that?
Yeah, I saw the headlights come on, but I ain't see him move though.
Maybe I'll get in the right lane. Because as much as it would be good for the podcast, I'd rather not get a speeding ticket.
I'm with you. I don't think you want points right now.
No. Ross is really building up a collection of speed camera letters. Do you get those ever?
Very rarely. I'm pretty good with like not doing that because of Waze.
Yeah, Waze or Google Maps even tells you where the cameras are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But Ross doesn't give a shit.
Yo, shots to Ross with Leadfoot Ross.
Yeah,
yo?
yeah. We joke that she moonlights as like a gypsy cab driver. The way she drives, she knows the shortcuts around town. She knows which lights she can roll through, which ones she can fully stop at.
Shots to Ross with the Dolly Cab in Bushwick.
Oh
yo.
yeah.
That's what's up. Making it happen for her family. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
By any
She's
means.
got places to go, people to see. She's been doing, there's 2 days a week where she will teach a yoga class in the morning, see a doula client in the daytime, and then teach another class at night. She's hustling to make a living.
I tell you, I don't understand your house at all. Like,
no,
every time you like give me a new detail, I'm like, I don't see how this works.
No,
it
barely does.
Yeah.
It barely does. No.
This as an ecosystem, it seems crazy. Like, those are 5 different careers I've heard so far between all of y'all.
Yeah.
They all take up significant time.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They all take up. None of them are full time, but they all take up some hours of the day. Mine are more flexible, especially with the video work. I can kind of do that whenever. But it's the shows and then travel. Anything comedy related is oftentimes like stuck in a time slot. And then the coaching work I do, like the recovery coaching job, that is, I have a few clients, but that kind of shifts around a little bit. And then, her job, it's like some of the yoga stuff is early morning, and then some of it is a little later in the evening. And that's when we get into trouble with like having to get somebody to pick up our kid from school, or like finding out, like we have this roster of babysitters that we're always texting like, hey, are you free on this night or that night? And every day can oftentimes look pretty different, and it's stressful. And then you throw into the mix, which I was whining about on our last couple episodes, you throw in unexpected turns of events like sickness, and everything goes out the window, where one of us has to stay home all day or bring her to the doctor or whatever. That stuff can throw a wrench into all the systems. So that's where we really envy people who have the grandparents in close proximity.
Word up, yo. Shouts to my parents. Shout to my in-laws.
Yeah,
they come in clutch, yo. Dudes, cool.
It literally does take a village.
Real talk, man. I'm about it. But yeah, like, it's not that y'all do a lot of things. It's that they're like, Ross's sound closer, I guess. But like that they're not adjacent.
Yeah.
You know, so like you have to like really pivot your mind to like the task of the moment.
Yeah.
And I can see advantages to that, right? Like, cause it's almost like a different part of your brain. So like there's a break, kind of, when you're working on the other thing. You know?
Like I mean, a perfect example of it was 2 weeks ago. I had this client where it was my job to go meet him at the detox. He was leaving, and then get him to a hotel where he was basically going to be doing an outpatient rehab designed just for him, where it was like his family was putting him up in this hotel. He was going to have a team of us coaches working with him a few hours a day. He'd have a meeting schedule at night. He'd have whatever, like, because this person tried rehab in all these different ways, and it always went really badly. And the whole point of my job was to just get this thing started, like get him into the hotel.
Okay.
And the first day was fine, and I said goodbye when we were meant to say goodbye, and then yeah, I think I actually literally went home to like edit a podcast or do other video stuff, whatever it was. But the next day, when I was meant to go spend another 3 hours with this person, everything had fallen apart already. He had relapsed already. He wasn't answering calls. The whole team around it. It was basically an explosion of drama, essentially. And that does not that has so many shock waves of like disruption to my day-to-day life that it becomes impossible to do any of my other responsibilities, except for the bare minimum. It's like, I'll go get my kid from school, and I'll make dinner, and I'll take care of business. But all of a sudden, that job in my life has become this big mess.
Right.
And then you hope the dust settles the next day, but the next day is when this person wasn't ghosting me anymore. They were full on abusing me and verbally abusing me. And it was just like, all right, this is a lost cause at this point. I actually had a long talk with my therapist about how it's sort of time for me to get really clear about what I'm even capable of in that job, because that job, like a case like that, requires so many mental health professionals who are trained for like really intense cases.
Right.
And I can only do so much as a coach. I'm really just there to like support whatever the other professionals have said this person should do. It's like basically helping them be accountable. And I can't work with people that don't actually want to change.
Nah, it's love your pay grade, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And there are several other jobs I'd prefer to put my heart and soul into. I think I'm talking about all this in a way that's vague enough that I'm not breaking any laws or any ethical standards of this kind of industry, but nobody that matters is listening to this, right?
Hey, listen, man, we talking about rehabbing a baseball player, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
That's it. He's getting ready for the big game.
He hurt his elbow.
Tommy John surgery.
He hurt his elbow by injecting it with gallons and gallons of drugs and alcohol.
That's it. He's been suspended. He had some over-the-counter GNC product that had a banned substance.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yep. So now, all right, so we were going straight north. Now we're on 17 and we're going west. And this is actually, we can talk about this in terms of comedy. You hear people talk about the Catskills and the Borscht Belt comedy. You ever hear of those terms? Like the old Jewish comedians that would come up to the Catskills, and they do in the 30s or whatever, there was a network of hotels and resorts up in this part of the state where there would be like old-timey stand-up shows, like
like during like Miss Maisel.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess more like 40s and 50s or whatever, like Henny Youngman and those kind of like one-liner Jewish comics. So where we're going, Route 17 kind of goes up through that area, and there's a new museum in, I think it might be Liberty. I can't remember what town it's in, or no, it might be Ellenville. It's the Borscht Belt Comedy Museum, which we should go to sometime if we come back up this way. So we're basically going to we're headed toward Western New York. We're not going to Western New York, but
just like the great Americans before us, baby.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
We're continuing some kind of tradition here.
Straight up. I forget the names of the people that did that they went west.
The Cowboys?
Yeah, like there's like the duo, I forget their names.
Oh, Lewis and Clark.
Yeah, there you go.
This is our Lewis and Clark expedition.
There you go. This is us, baby. Lewis and Clark in it out here, yo.
Yeah.
New Adventures of Superman. Making it happen, going out west. Expanding our show range.
Yeah, we need our, was it Sacagawea that helped them?
Oh no, I didn't do well in that class.
Yeah.
Shouts to brother Adrian, social studies teacher.
That was because Catholic school?
Yeah.
You would actually address him as Brother Adrian?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
What would you think I addressed him?
Mr. Smith or whatever.
Nah, brother. He was Brother Adrian Fannin. And we all called him Brother Adrian. We called the other teachers Mrs. or Miss. We had Mrs. McElhennon, who got married in between 6th and 7th grade. So she left. Miss McElhennon came back, Miss Collins.
Yeah.
And we had Missy Chari. And then I don't remember the French teacher's name. The French Latin. I don't remember her name.
And did you, I'm going 80 again, and we're passing a state trooper. And this road, I don't think, I gotta slow down. He's not moving. Or she. Who knows? And they do have speed cameras now on some of these highways up here, like Route 84. It's a big news up in the Hudson Valley that 84 now has speed cameras.
I will say
this is 65. So
yeah,
80
I was gonna say
65.
it ain't too crazy because like even though you're going over, you are going with traffic.
Within, yeah, and
like right now you're getting passed.
Yeah. You
know what I mean?
And I thought this was a 55. This road used to be 55. So yeah, 65.
Like you just dropped to what, like 70, and you getting blown by right now.
Yeah,
Them dudes just chilling.
Yeah.
You good? You in the cut?
And I think maybe this is where the Kia Sorento works for me. That they're like, I'm not pulling over this nerd.
Real talk. That ticket is the price of the car. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. $85. I might as well buy a new car. Oh, sir, that's a down payment on a Kia Soul.
I got 2 Kias.
Oh man. Big update though. I did get the new windshield the other day.
Yo, resolved.
How much do you think it costs to just get a new windshield put in?
I mean,
did I already tell you the number?
No. I would say 150.
150. All right. It's 270.
Okay.
Parts and labor, which to me is low because my brother had to have the same thing done to his new minivan out in Denver. Yeah. At the dealership, it was like $1,600 or something.
Whoa.
I mean, it's a much bigger windshield, but like a 2022 van or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe there's technology inside of it. I don't know, but that seems high to me, right?
Yeah, no, that's a lot. But I do think, to your point, the size matters, the car matters.
Are you thinking 150 because we're driving in a piece of shit? Okay.
Not because it's a piece of shit, but it's an older car.
Yeah,
I think there's more of these. I also think more of these were like similar, back then. Like they like this probably works on like 5 different cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I do remember you mentioned you use like a service, so I could see that being a little more. Whereas like I know every repair I do is like I know I got a guy.
You know a guy, yeah.
So like I'll tell my dad or something that, yo, like, you know what to do for this?
Yeah. Well, I went to on Flushing Avenue near Metropolitan, there's that row of repair shops. They do a lot of cabs and stuff.
Yeah.
They got like I've brought this car there for the muffler several times. This guy he'll just weld, like he'll make pipes.
Hell yeah.
Like he'll just weld whatever needs to be welded. So I went to the glass guy, and
Yeah.
I think 270 is
That's not bad. Yeah.
good price to have this, because it was growing, by the way. Like just
that's why
last week that crack was like approaching your side of the car, and I was like, I can't be putting my child in this car that might pop out at any moment.
Yeah. Because it won't hit the kid, but it hits you while the kid's in the car.
And then she'll have like a formative, traumatic experience when she sees two decapitated parents. One of them still holding the wheel in the front seat.
Oh man, yeah, that's not the move, man.
That would last a lifetime.
Can't do it, man. I'm happy you made the repair. You know, I think that's a good look. I'm growing fond of the Kia.
Yeah, I think we can get another 2 or 3 gigs out of this car before it's got to be thrown on the scrap heap.
Yeah, man.
We keep selling out shows. I'll just buy a new one.
That's the plan, baby. That's the only reason I agree to do these shows.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get you new car money.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Low key, when we make it, I'm gonna buy a Kia like as a memory.
I thought you were gonna say I'm gonna buy you a really nice car.
Nah, I'm gonna buy a Kia as a memento for us.
That'll be a gift. My gift to you is a strong, fast, safe, Range Rover.
2035, you and I are millionaires from comedy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy you another like 96 Kia.
Yes.
Be like, yo, you remember these bad boys?
I don't think Kia was banging yet in '96. I think
you're right.
Kia was probably like 2003.
Yeah, because Kia like came into the market after like Saturn disappeared.
Yeah, and Kias are just Hyundais with different shells, from what I understand.
They're like, I will say, like they came a point where like the bodies were fire. Like Kia, like they hired like some BMW designers.
Yeah.
And like they legit got nice cars now.
Yeah.
But
not this one.
Not this one. No.
That change happened post 2011.
Yeah, brother. But it runs, baby.
Gets us where we're going.
That's all that matters.
Although there was a fear when we hit record at the beginning of this that I was going to just back up into oncoming traffic.
It's fair.
To start the podcast.
A part of me doesn't think that's you. A part of me thinks that's the Kia every now and then. It's just like, let's end it.
Yeah.
I've done my job
I
already.
just put myself out of my misery.
He'll never throw me out. I got to do it myself.
It's been 13 years of service. I don't know who had this car before us. We got this in 2016. So yeah, it was a used car. Who knows what kind of trouble was being kicked up? What kind of comedy shows were being driven to?
Yo, I feel like when you're done with it, you should just like put the pink slip in the car and list it on that Bushwick Ready.
Yeah.
Like, yo, whoever needs it.
Yeah, that seems fine. I mean, I am proud that this is not a Kia that you can just steal with a USB drive.
Ooh,
like you can't. That doesn't work on this car because this doesn't have USB technology. So, if you want to steal this car, you got to do it analog style.
Oh yeah, baby, old school. I love that the best feature on your car is what it doesn't have.
It's low tech, yes. Which I think is where we need to go as a society. I think we do have too much technology.
I agree. I think we're going there anyway. Like you're seeing I'm seeing more and more people talk about buying like mini homes.
Yeah.
Building houses and like those like these things, the containers.
Yeah.
Off the grid stuff.
Return to nature.
Yeah, a lot of YouTubers living out of vans. Even like the young comics that like they moved to New York, they look like this is the first time where like I feel bad for comics.
Yeah.
Like on some like not even on some elitist thing, like, but like I meet a young comic that I'm like, yo, bro, that's your living situation. Like,
yeah, I
don't know if that's okay. Like,
yeah,
they got 5-6 roommates.
Yeah,
live in a closet, and like, you know, I'm blessed with what I have, but I don't have a lot.
Yeah.
but like I noticeably know, but like I know that I'm like noticeably living a better lifestyle.
Yeah.
Than a comic that just moved here, and like it's like, yo, that's trippy. Like how tough it is to like make it here in this city while pursuing the art, and I think it's motivating a lot more of our peers and just people in general to like pack it up and just say, yo, you know what? This ain't worth it.
Yeah.
I could buy a house for 100 G's in Wyoming.
Yeah.
And live a good life. I can make a podcast. I can make art on my free time. You know what I mean? Yo, like I was thinking about this the other day. I could buy a $100,000 house in like Alabama.
Yeah.
That's like nice. And work at Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
And pay all my bills. Working 40 hours a week, packing bags, making $15 an hour.
Meeting nice people.
Meeting nice people. I get 20% off of my groceries now.
Yeah.
I get a good workout working there. All I gotta do is lift weights now when I get home.
Yeah.
Now I'm in shape. I'm eating vegetables. I got a nice house. I'm getting plenty of outdoor time. I'll bike to work.
Are you doing sets? Are you running a bar show once a week?
And then once a week I do bar shows so that I get the art out of me.
Yeah.
Admittedly,
it's just
for fun.
It's just to express yourself.
Yeah.
It's your bowling league.
Exactly. I'm doing stand up once. I'll even be more realistic. I'm probably doing it once a month.
Yeah.
And to get the itch out of doing comedy daily, I'll probably add a new hobby like photography.
Yeah.
And is it like pursuing stand up full time? No. But that's a happy life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I start a blog about my chili recipes or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
And like I'll be funny in the descriptions.
Yeah.
And that's a dope life. Well, you know what I mean? And like I know like I'm being silly in a way, but also I promise you like that's a real option that a lot more comics should consider and I think are considering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I since my kids have kept me here, I'm proud that they're New Yorkers and like I commit to the decision. But man, if it was just me and Gabby, I'd have been gone, I think.
Yeah.
Like if I had like the rough if I had like I talked about having a rough set on Thursday a while back.
Yeah.
If I would have had like a week of those sets, that'd have been enough.
That's enough.
I'd have been like, you know what am I doing this for? Like, let me go get this crib down in like some weird city in Florida. Like my brother-in-law, he lives in Lassahatchee. I'll be down there, Lassahatchee.
I mean, that's a fun town to live in, just to say I live in Lassahatchee.
Boom. Now I'm in Lassahatchee, Florida.
I was playing Frisbee too hard one day, and I got a Lassahatchee in my back. I got to stretch more.
You know what I mean? You got the Lassahatchee fix on your Kia?
I got Lassahatchee fever. The car's making a weird sound. I think something's wrong with the Lassahatchee.
The Lassahatchee broke, yo. It got dislodged. You know what I mean? You need to keep your Lassahatchee lubricated.
Yes, exactly.
Car won't run.
Dip it.
But for real, I think more people should look into it. Like,
well, there's one comic we both know. I don't know if he talks about this publicly, but when he came to New York, everybody knew he was great. And another friend of ours was like, I believe in you. Why don't you just crash at my house? You can just stay at my house for free. And he slept on an air mattress for years. I think 3 years. I actually don't know where he lives now, but I think he's doing well enough that he can afford to live wherever, because he's a bigger comic now.
Yeah.
And that 3 year or however long he was sleeping in this guy's entryway,
right,
hallway of his apartment on an air mattress. That's like having a benefactor. You know, that's like somebody who's like, I believe in you.
Yeah.
Let me help you. Let me help pay your way in this way.
That's beautiful.
And you just focus on your career and don't worry about money so much. That's
awesome.
That's amazing. And I think there's got to be some kind of Kickstarter adjacent website where I think it's like benefactor.com or whatever. You can sign up to sponsor an artist that you dig who needs money. I could use an extra $200 a week from a random person on the internet.
Yo, that'd be fire. And I know Patreon exists, but it's not quite that.
Right.
Because it's
Because you still have to do.
Yeah.
You have to give them something.
Yeah, like the idea was that, but it became like another subscription content thing that I have to maintain.
Right.
And it's a beautiful system too, but like you're forced to create something that's not the thing you want to create.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's time away from the craft almost. You know what I mean? Like I think it's dope that y'all support all those stand-ups that do podcasts through that. But in turn, like, they got to do extra episodes of the podcast instead of doing just stand-up.
Right.
You know?
It ends up like a pair of handcuffs or something.
Like, you know what I thought would be dope? If all the, like, millionaire and billionaires that had those empty condos would give those condos to artists. Yeah. Like, yo, you get to live here. You get 5 years in New York in this condo that you realistically could never afford. Yeah. It's already empty for me anyway. I'm never in that city. I bought it as an investment. Yeah. I still get to claim it as an investment. And I get to write off the money that the apartment would get in rent. Yeah. For giving it to you for that time. I gotta look into doing this actually.
Yeah.
Real talk. Like,
I mean, I guess the question is, who deserves it more? Artists or like people who are living on the street, or people who really need the support? I think obviously people that are in need, I think need it more. Right? Being fair, obviously, but I'm trying to think of something I could realistically convince a rich person to do. Yeah. Like, rich people don't want.
Yeah, like, you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, like at some point they might want to use the apartment for them. So like, if I'm an adult who like lives in an apartment and is pursuing the arts, there's a certain lifestyle that I think they would expect that's gonna upkeep their apartment. Yeah. Whereas unfortunately, a lot of people in need, if they're homeless, there's other aspects a lot of the times, whether it's like mental health issues. There's other layers to their problem that are bigger than just putting them in a condo. Yes. You know, whereas for me, like, and other artists like me, I think just resolving that one issue would take away so much stress and allow me to focus on making art. Yeah. They could claim helping an artist that like makes art they believe in, whereas like I do think helping people in need is important, more important. I don't think they get the same kudos. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that album. You helped make that special is different than like I helped that one guy get back on his feet. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but it's the situation.
Yeah, like you want to do what's going to get you a little bit more. What's going to get me more likes? Snatching this kid from obscurity and helping him make a comedy special. Yeah. Or helping a man feed his family.
Hey man, we still like. We still dealing with the repercussions of that movie, Blindside, but that was real. Oh yeah, a whole bunch of white folk agreed to help that black dude block for a white quarterback. Yeah, you know what I mean, and it was beautiful until it wasn't, and we found out the backstory of it. But
what was the discrepancy in the end?
The main issue is it's his story. Right, it's his life, but the family is claiming it's their story. Yeah. So, when they sold the rights to the movie, the guy's saying I never got paid, and they're saying you did get paid, but not with it. And it's come out that while they were paying him, it wasn't fair. They split the money 5 ways. Yeah. Right, so he gets 1/5 of the story. Yeah. And so do their other kids and each of the parents. Yeah. And like. I definitely agree it's their story as well, but I don't think it's 80% their story. Right, yeah. You know, so like that's part of the issue of it. 2, they're the ones that sold it, not him. You know, so like he had no say in like how it was told, who it was sold to, who got to tell it. Yeah. So there's a lot of issues like that. The paperwork he signed, like he wasn't fully cognizant that it was giving away the rights to negotiate those things. He thought it was adoption papers. Yeah. Which he wasn't aware wasn't an option because he was already an adult. There's a lot of like stuff like that they finagled because of the position they were in.
Right.
In general, I do think they did something initially good. And I think that was the intention. I just think that people in power, unfortunately, are very easy to corrupt.
Yeah.
And they were in a situation where they saw opportunity and it kept getting thrown in their face that, like, hey, you could do something with this.
Yeah.
And they took advantage of it.
Well,
and it undid the good that they initially did.
And then white savior stuff is like a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't really look great no matter how good of a thing it was. Sometimes it looks weird if you celebrate it the wrong way or whatever.
But white folk, give me a condo in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Yeah.
You could take credit. I'll tell everybody you did it if you want. I'll tell nobody, whatever you prefer.
And it's like Russian white people too. So it's not even Americans typically. Like oftentimes it's overseas.
Real talk. I spy for y'all. You know what I mean? I watch the Americans. I love the show.
Oh, that is a great show.
Real talk.
That
Great
was the
show.
first show I hammered through during the pandemic. Man, that was a good show.
Real talk. Major crush on Kerry Russell.
Oh, yeah.
Real talk. She's dope. I like her.
I know your brand now. That helps me understand what you're attracted to.
Yeah, women that can like really hold it down and almost should be scarier than me.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Like Gabby's that to me. Like everyone like assumes like if you just saw a picture of us, you think I'm the tough guy. Gabby's the tough guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I might hit harder, but only because she tells me to hit you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we're both scared of our wives.
At the very least, a healthy respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's earned it.
Franny has started telling Ross to be nice to me. So she even knows who has the power and the leverage in our house.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so
how
great.
Beautiful is this?
This is dope, man.
This is crazy. So
this view's crazy.
A couple exits ago, we passed the exit to my mother's town. My mother lives in Pine Bush.
Okay.
Which I used to try to do a joke anytime I do shows up in this area that Pine Bush sounds like an STI from the 1700s. But yeah, we're coming up on Ellenville, which I think that museum is in Ellenville. A lot of Brooklyn hipsters now come up to this area to do Airbnb weekends or second homes and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, good camping up here, some campgrounds, and our gig tonight. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so my mom is like 30 minutes from the gig is what it looks like on the GPS.
Oh hell yeah!
And she's excited. I think she's excited to meet you. I think my mom has always liked meeting bandmates of mine or like people I lived with at college, stuff like that. She's always been good about having a curiosity about who I'm spending a lot of time with. So
that's dope.
No pressure. You know, we do have a green room. We're not going to spend a lot of our time before the show schmoozing with anybody because we gotta protect that energy.
Yeah, I agree with that in general, man. Like I think it's vital to like conserve that, especially pre-show. Post-show, I'm actually about it.
Yeah. You need a
pre-show, you're once you're out there, you're performing.
Yeah.
So like, if I do that pre-show, like it takes away a lot of what I could do on stage because I did it.
Yeah.
I think I'm fully on board with like kind of being hidden before the show.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've recorded for an hour here. I don't know. I hope this was entertaining. I like talking to you. Maybe you guys like eavesdropping on a conversation between gentlemen.
Real talk. You know what I mean? You can see what we about. If you don't like it, that's cool too. We get it. We're not for everybody.
Yeah.
There's like 7 billion people, 8 billion people in the world. I don't know how many. I might be way off, like a billion or two off. But
I think we're up to 8 billion now.
We're at 8 billion. Look at that.
6 billion?
I know you don't tune in for the math. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But we trying. We out here. We sharing info, what we know. As you've seen so far, we don't know a lot about a lot, but we know a lot about a little.
And we're gonna get there.
We're gonna get there, baby. Real talk. In this case, in about 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Peace.